Hi everybody. The artifact that I chose to represent me culturally is, as you can see, an Easter egg. It's a Ukrainian Easter egg called a pisanska. And this egg in particular was my grandmother's. She had a china closet in her dining room when I was growing up, and it was full of these different kinds of eggs. And they were all different colors with different designs, and some were eggs that she made herself, and some were eggs that she bought. And when she passed away, all of us children got one. My mother, my aunt, myself and my cousins, we all got at least one of the eggs. And they're very special because they represent a tradition that we've done in my family my entire life. My mother's entire life, my grandmother's entire life. It's a tradition that Ukrainians have done for centuries. And it's basically the art of designing Easter eggs. And we would design the eggs on Good Friday. After church, we would go home and my mother would boil a pot of hard-boiled eggs, and like everybody dyes eggs for Easter and colors them, but before we would color them and dye them, we would decorate them. And what you would do is, traditionally you would melt beeswax and melt that, and you use a special tool called a kitska to draw on the egg with the wax. My mother never had us use beeswax. We always used like wax from an unscented candle because it was easier to use the candle wax than the beeswax. But traditionally that's how they would do it. And you would design the egg with the wax, like one design. Like for instance, you would design a pattern on the egg, and then you would dye the egg one color, and then you would design another pattern if you wanted to use multiple colors, because for each time you did a color, the wax you would place on would protect the egg from turning that color. And that's how you would get all the different colors on the egg. I've never made an egg with more than one color. We always just designed it with a design, whatever design we wanted to do, and we would all just dye them one color, just because it takes so much time, it takes so much work. As you can see, it's an art form to do it. And I've seen some that my uncle and my cousin have done that it's taken them all afternoon to do one egg, and they come out beautifully. And sometimes you can save the eggs. Like we would do them on Good Friday, because traditionally in Ukrainian Orthodox religion, you take the food that you make, you would make all your Easter dinner food on the Saturday before. Your ham, your bread, whatever you're going to make for Easter. You would take it to church on Saturday evening after Mass, and the priest would bless your basket. And you would take portions of everything you're going to make, and then you would cover your basket with a cloth that looked similar to this. This is mine that I use every year for Easter. And it's a very traditional Ukrainian design on the cloth. It says Hristos Voskres, which means Christ is risen in Ukrainian. And it's just what we say at Easter. And the food would be blessed, and it's the first thing that you eat is the samples of all the food on Easter breakfast after Mass. So the eggs that we made growing up were all eggs that we ate. But many people, and my grandmother was one of them, would make them, and they would take the inside of the egg out. And as you can see, there's a small hole in this one when it was made, and they take out the inside, and then you have the shell left. And people use these as decorations in their home. And traditionally, it's supposed to be a decoration that, obviously, they're very beautiful to have in your home, but it was also, way back when, it was a sign of keeping evil spirits away. It was a way of representing hope and faith and that sort of thing. So, like I said, this is a tradition that has always been very special to me. We did it every year of my life. And when my brothers moved away, they moved out of state, and they don't often get home for Easter. But my mother and myself and my son keep up the tradition. We always decorate the eggs together. We always go to Mass together and have Easter breakfast together every year. And it's just one of my favorite traditions from my family. So thanks for listening. I hope to watch everybody else's videos, and I'm interested to see everybody else's artifacts, because you learn something new, and I think this was a fun assignment to have. Thanks.